Oh, if the microphone's on, ho ho ho.
Ho 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 ho.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
Happy SciTrek special.
That's my favorite. For the love of God and all that's holy, stop the goddamn hammering.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas, y'all.
Please, please.
Your SciTrek TV and movie channel. Close enough. What are y'all doing?
I got pineapple spiced rum.
Oh, is that your part of your rum advent calendar, Jay?
Available all good stockists, except it's not. It's only available from the Rum Club here in the UK. But Rum Club.
No, they should have one of those for January. Just saying.
It should be an all around year thing. But it kind of is because they send me a bottle of rum every week. So I don't get pineapple rum though. What's that about?
Well,
yeah, that one didn't work out well.
Rum and what is it? Rum and pineapple juice? That's
yeah. Well, it tastes like pineapple. At least this one does taste like. But the banana one I had last time tasted of nothing. So.
Oh yeah, that was depressing. The spice one was good though. You had a fruit and a spice. It might even work out nice.
I did. It was okay. So far, I've been disappointed by most of them, because I compare everything to bamboo, obviously. I mean, whenever you go rum, I go bamboo, and they go no. So I go, oh, I want bamboo. Or Kraken. Oh, the Kraken black cherry. Oh, it's so good.
I have heard good things about Kraken black cherry. I've not tried it.
Oh, mate.
It's available in America, isn't it?
I don't know. I don't care. It's available here, and I drink it a lot. It actually tastes of pineapple. I'm okay with it. Anyway. Oh, the hat's changed. Merry Christmas, guys. How are we? You all ready?
I believe so.
Oh, I've got a question for my American friends, actually.
Okay.
I know. This is going to freak you out. Do you remember how I've mentioned how stupid American football is?
I think you mentioned it once or twice per weekend, especially in relation to jabbering on about Manchester United. I think we've heard it once or twice before, maybe.
Don't say jabbering on in reference to the greatest sports team that's ever been.
And ladies and gentlemen, this is exactly an example of what we're talking about. So please carry on, Jay.
Don't talk over each other, you idiots. Manchester United are the greatest football team and sports team that's ever existed, and I will come to America and bitch slap both of you if you say otherwise. All right. So, but on the thing of American football, I've started watching it and I quite like it.
Who have you been watching?
I watched... Oh, wait a minute. That question's already been answered. You've been drinking rum. Oh my! How much fucking you
I watched. Yeah, well, I watched the Raiders lose very badly. It was almost funny. Who are they playing? And I watched the. I'm watching the Steelers tomorrow, Christmas Day. Sorry. And the racist team. What's the racist team about the Red Indians? The racist one.
Oh, the Redskins. Now it's Commanders.
Yeah, they're not racist, but I know people get angry about it. So the Redskins are playing on Christmas Day, so I'm going to watch it. I've watched a couple of games though. I watched the Hawks, and I watched somebody else.
Have we entered an alternate timeline and I didn't notice? This is the timeline where Jay gets coached on American football?
I've kind of shaved a goatee, so I am going to be evil. I haven't got a goatee.
Oh, dear God. Yes, there must be some sort of shift in a tachyon pulse or something. I'm feeling it in another region.
I will talk about that.
I agree with you, Brain Pain, about the Seahawks. That was a bummer.
But I need a team. This is my thing now, though. I need a team. So I don't know who to support. So who do I support? I can't support the Kaiser Chiefs because that's racist.
There's always the Charlotte Panthers. Very zoological.
Panthers, okay. I want one that's got a cool badge so I can.
They're kind of cool.
Put it on a hat.
Do you like bulls?
The Buffalo.
Detroit Lions.
The Lions.
Oh, that's right. For a football team, yeah, get him hooked on the Chicago Bulls. Yeah, that'll help him so much in Britain.
It's the Buffalo Bulls, isn't it? No, Buffalo Bills. Buffalo Bill? Is that right?
They're
Yes.
well, I thought that was a serious.
Hello. We've got a Chazwell. Fine.
Oh my gosh! Finally, he rolled in.
We're talking about American football.
It's okay. I brought my Star Wars sweater. So.
Oh no, that is cool.
I went Die Hard.
Oh, very nice.
All right.
Mine is black, like Black Mass, I guess.
Yeah. We were talking American football teams, though, and these three are utterly useless. None of them are suggesting any good
We're
teams.
just talking. A new leaf has been turned. The world
Lions
has
are a really good team.
ended
The
and
Lions,
restarted.
Those are the Lions.
Jay likes American football now.
Really?
Yeah, I've quite enjoyed it. I'm going to start watching Monday Night Football regularly. I might even have to pay for a subscription so I can watch it.
Chaz, I'm really telling you, I think we've entered an alternative timeline here with his, now he's nattering on about American football like he's been into it for 20 years. I don't know what's going on anymore.
My only complaint is it
I
does
feel like
stop a lot for breaks. I mean, how many breaks do you need in a pigging
Yeah.
game?
Commercials.
I mean,
That's
come
not even
on.
just that, it's-
I'm thinking the Buffalo
all the
Bills because of that reason. That's why I was thinking Buffalo Bills because of that reason.
Well, they're going to get to the end zone whether the opposing team like it or not. While the opposing team is
And they get in the end zone and then murder people. The Silence of the Lambs, he was such a good character. Not in the Silence of the Lambs, or was it? It was in Manhunter. It was in Manhunter, wasn't it?
It was Silence, too.
and Silence of the Lambs. It was a recurring character throughout that series.
Okay. So I might. He was, wasn't he? Because he's the. Sorry, it is. No, you're right. He was the one they're trying to look for, isn't he? But he was such a good villain. That's why I thought when I was looking through it, I thought I might go with the Buffalo Bills. But I've got no connection to Buffalo. I've been there once. I drove through it on the way to Toronto. So
It's
does
New
that
York.
count?
Avoid it.
Yeah. I've been to New York
good
twice,
wing?
been to California a couple of times. San Diego's nice. What's the team in
Okay,
San
so
Diego?
if you're a fan of Pixar movies, there's always the Oakland Raiders.
Okay, the Raiders.
Well, now it's
Wow.
Las Vegas Raiders.
Yeah, Vegas Raiders now.
Why did they
Yes,
move?
Vegas and moved to
Okay,
Vegas.
so go Niners.
Aren't they shit at the moment?
They're never. They haven't been great yet. They haven't.
They're gonna be better though.
They should be.
Yeah.
If you like cheese, you should be a Green Bay fan.
The Packers.
Cheeseheads.
Well, I mean,
Okay.
okay, so if you
Yeah.
still like Pixar, it's always the 49ers. Go to the 49ers.
San Francisco. I've never been to San Francisco, but
Well, it's
Anything
on.
besides the 49ers is usually the best team to pick.
Well, that's we're just trying to get him involved. And then once he gets his face beat off, then we can actually get him to a proper team.
and then I just need to watch a few more games, and a team will inspire me. Maybe.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
And then, but once I pick a team, that's it for me forever. Then, so I've got to be careful who I pick, and
Maybe with American football, it might be every 5 years you might pick a new team.
Oh, okay. So
once I pick something, I stick to it forever. That's
one honest bit of advice.
yeah.
Whatever you do, 100%, do not pick the Patriots.
Yes.
Just
Well,
don't.
I've got a little bit of a problem with.
They will
American
know you're not
Patriots.
American before. I mean, it's just like I
Fair.
worry for your life.
Yeah, the last time the British and American Patriots sort of got involved with each other, it didn't
Burn
end
down the
badly.
White
For
House,
the,
that's
it ended
what
quite
you
badly
did.
for the British. So I think I might leave that. Yeah, so
Y'all are the only ones who still drink tea after all that, so I don't know what's going on.
coffee's disgusting though. Let's be honest.
Which was oh my god, oh my god.
I like both.
Coffee's horrible, guys. It's so
Supposed to
bitter.
be about Christmas, not the Rose Parade or whatever.
Anyway, Merry
Rose
Christmas,
Bowl.
everybody. We do actually have a Stargate related thing to talk about, but I did want to talk about the Tachyon Pulse podcast as well.
Yeah, let's announce it.
Right, I gotta jump off a second.
Okay.
Bye. So we have started a new channel as part of the SciTrek family, and we're going to make SciTrek really about like community, and we're going to try to do a lot more lives on the channel, SciTrek. So because of that, and because we want it to be more about the community, I've started a little side channel where I'm going to do more of my videos. And now my health is a bit better as well. I can start doing more videos. So we started the Tachyon Pulse podcast. What are you laughing at? You're laughing that I'm better.
Just ignore me.
No, you're just
I'm in the
laughing
alternate
because I'm
timeline.
well. You liked
Way
it when I
on the
was
alternate
sick. What
timeline.
is wrong with you?
Howdy, Alex.
So yeah. So but the Tachyon Pulse podcast is going to be a bit different. I'll be doing the videos I normally do with my normal style. Do I have a style? I'm not really sure. But also I'll be doing like techno babble videos and technology videos and whatever else that I think you sci-fi nerds will enjoy. So it won't just be sci-fi. It'll be a bit of whatever I think. So a bit like that J Talks video I did briefly, and then got really poorly and had to stop. So it'll be a bit like that, but you know, with all my stuff. And then we'll talk about it live on SciTrek as well. So please go over and subscribe and help us out, and let's get it going. Let's get to 100 subscribers as quick as we can.
Because
Subscribe.
somehow this timeline is the Tachyon Pulse timeline, and Jay has started to like American football, coffee. It's
Yeah.
You started drinking coffee too?
I mean, I even watched a baseball game.
Are you?
I don't even do that. Ooh.
No, God, no, I didn't do
He's
that.
in my house.
I don't say coffee though. I say coffee. So I just,
Okay, he's in the other bedroom then.
So maybe pick a New York team because coffee sounds a little New York.
Coffee.
I remember a lady. I when I was in New York, and I ordered a large Big Mac meal at the airport because there was only Mackies there, so I ordered a large Big Mac meal, and the lady ordered she went Big Mac large fries and a Coke. As I was like, what? Sorry. She's like Big Mac large fries, a large Big Mac meal. Yeah. Oh, okay. Thank you.
I think so.
Oh, fucking hell. I don't live in New York, about 10 minutes.
Surprise. They'll get you up there. Oh, okay. I've been trying to find this for 10 minutes.
Hey, there you go.
Oh my God in heaven.
Oh, dude, if you
I wasn't ready for that. I was not ready
I
for
wasn't
that.
necessarily ready for it either. I've just been, if y'all have noticed, I've been just touching my head for the last 10 minutes trying to find that button, and I found it.
Yeah.
Oh my
I
gosh.
thought it was a fetish. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I thought it was something you sit on.
Oh.
Press the button.
Hey, I got
Well,
that here someplace. Did you want to see that again? I got it here. No.
Yeah, I was not expecting that.
I've only had that much room.
You got to start. Well, I guess not start today. You got to end it off right there.
I've got my Christmas party in a bit, so this evening's going to be a mess.
Oh, that's great.
So I do have to go in about just over an hour. I'm getting picked up when we're going. And I'm going to have a bad head tomorrow.
That was after getting in town over here. We're with you.
Yep.
Day behind on everything and half a mind behind after Christmas. It's, they get you. Mike just hopped in. Howdy. Well,
Hey,
honestly,
Michael.
let's start where we end off typically. We always talk about what we've been watching. Let's start with what we've been watching. You know? It's Christmas time. Have you been watching any Christmas movies or anything?
Oh yes. Well, okay. What's your favorite classic Christmas movie
There we go.
and favorite modern, say, last 10 years Christmas movie?
Oh, last 10 years.
Oh, well, that one's easy.
Oh God. Okay.
Yeah. All together. 1, 2, 3. Favorite Christmas movie of the last 10 years. 1, 2, 3.
Violent
Violent.
Night.
Oh, well.
It's so good.
It's so good.
It's so good.
The
It's
Christmas
wrong.
Chronicles, the Kurt Russell one's
Yeah,
really good
yeah.
too.
I
Yeah,
do like that.
But
he is the
David
most
Harbour.
powerful Santa.
He is the most powerful Santa.
Yeah.
And if you needed a shelf putting up, I mean, you imagine how good at nailing it to the wall he'd be. It would be amazing. You wouldn't have a wall, but it's my favourite bit is when he shoves the grenade in the guy's trousers and walks away and he goes, "I've got to look."
he just turns around. Oh, it's so good.
He just turns around going, "Oh, so worth it." Just cracks me up. It's
I
my
want to
favourite
know
movie.
what his elves are like. They've
Yeah.
gotta be
Yeah.
diabolical.
I'm wondering because there's going to be a second one. So I'm wondering if we're going to see him become Santa, because they made such a big deal about him being like a Viking.
The Nicomund the Red or something like that. I wanted a prequel almost. I'd like a whole movie.
Yeah,
about
I'm wondering if they might do a prequel.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
That would be very. They'd have to do a good job there. Actually, nobody said Red One. How's that? How weird is that?
Yeah.
Hey, Amazon's biggest. Oh, they've got Amazon's biggest premiere. They did that very well.
That was so bad, and it kind of frustrates me again. I guess it's Rings of Power and Lord of the Rings. Just that's where the licensees go typically. I'm surprised it's not on Max. Lord of the Rings: War of the Rohirrim, because they just announced this morning that it's going to be on VOD December 26th, or available to stream on the 26th.
Huh.
So they're not even. It's Lord of the freaking Rings, and they're not even trying to get people to go see it in theaters. They have no interest in giving it legs at all.
Yeah, they're trying to get subscriptions up, though, aren't they?
Yeah, Red One and Lord of the Rings. That's two ways to do it, but not if you don't excite people.
Well, Red One's done very well. There's 50 million streams in the first weekend. It's done very well, and it bombed at the cinema, but they almost did it on purpose. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Just get the headlines out there that biggest bomb in Christmas history, and then goes to streaming. Everybody watches it immediately. Not so much for
Yeah.
well,
Yeah, they're not stupid over it. Regardless of what Barbara Broccoli thinks, they're not stupid over at Amazon.
Slow.
I know
Very
she thinks
slow.
they are. Yeah. Well, they just do things a bit differently over at Amazon. They have a different. What have we said more? We've said a few times, haven't we? Talking about Stargate and everything.
Yeah.
They all the people I speak to sort of say they run more like a business than a studio. Sort of like a traditional business sort of thing than a studio, and it says it doesn't quite work, or at the very least it's different. Well, that's what we're going to talk about, isn't it? A little bit about how frustrated some production partners have been over Stargate and obviously now over Bond, because they do things differently at Amazon, right or wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I could see people approaching it. You know who's approached it in a bit better of a way, a little bit business-like, is David Zaslav, and he hasn't been perfect by any means, but he's pushed the company in a much better direction than it has been going in the last 10 years, and that's adding business tactics. But you can't forget this part. He understands HBO is his big moneymaker, and that's art before money, I guess, all day, which is good. But
the thing I like with that was he's identified their strengths. And another one of their strengths is the massive studio space they've got. So I just got to realize my phone is plugged in. And they're really working on trying to make things for other people, because that's completely zero risk. It's like they can make stuff for somebody else, get paid. If it bombs, who cares? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't just knocking stuff around on accident.
The thing that seems to be true with Amazon is that they're really good apparently when they buy a show off somebody else, and they don't really get involved. So like Star Trek Picard, they didn't really get involved. The Boys, they don't really get involved. They sort of like, they have a pitch, they go, yeah, we like that, we'll buy it, sort of thing, and then they don't that's about it, sort of thing. But if it's a show they're producing, apparently they just do it to death. They're just like, it's all metadata and death by committee, and that seems to be what Barbara Broccoli is talking about with Bond as well. But it's also what's caused so many problems with bloody Stargate. I think
didn't that cause some issues at the tail end of The Expanse once it was truly an Amazon production?
I thought it was. I mean, they rescued it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then they already had the arcs of the seasons they wanted to do. And then once they got finished doing that, it just all fell apart because Amazon wanted one thing and the creators wanted another. So I think Jay, using Jay's euphemism of death by committee is what killed Expanse. I think. I don't know. You guys probably know more than I would.
Sounds right.
Yeah. There was an element of that, but there is also an element of it made sense for it to end when it did, because of the way there's then like a 30-year gap between that and the next series, next book. But also it's never done as well as Amazon wanted. It's really impressive. We've got 6 seasons, to be honest, because I mean it's a bit like Firefly or something. It's got a very small, absolutely obsessed fan base. Yeah, well,
very rabid, all of us.
Yeah. And that's so. I mean, but there might be a video coming out on the Tachyon Pulse podcast about The Expanse in a couple of days, which some people might find quite exciting. But I'm not going to tell you. We'll go live about it afterwards, and we can talk about it then.
Well, there's also a new book series coming out from them, and we might be talking about it for a year or 2 or 4 or 7 or 10.
Well, the creators can't be too disappointed with Amazon because, as I said, they've gone back and signed a development deal with them for the next series. So it can't have been too bad an experience. I think it was more Mark Fergus and Hawk Ostby that had problems with them than anyone else. From what I've heard, is that when Mark Fergus walked away from Amazon over Stargate and the end of that was the end of 2022 now. It was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I did hear whispers that it was partly because they were sort of like, this is your last chance with Mark Ferguson. He sort of said, I've had enough of this now. And then he went over to other project, and he's had the same problems with the God of War. Exactly the same problems. So it's Amazon again. But it's not Amazon dictating a great deal to them. It's Amazon being unable to make a decision seems to be the biggest problem. They just can't. Everything's got to be metadata unless there's some like spreadsheet that explains how yes, we should definitely do that. If they're not sure, they just sort of like run around in circles like a dog chasing its tail. And that seems to be the biggest problem. And I think that's fair to say that's the biggest problem with bringing Stargate back and Bond. 2 of the biggest, most valuable franchises, the MGMO, and Amazon hasn't been able to sort either of them out. It's quite astonishing, really.
Right. Frustrating.
So little sense, just especially with that just big, giant, looming Rings of Power in like multiple ways where that's such an expensive series and y'all were able to rush it as fast as possible. And instead of actually taking the time on the one IP that you probably should have taken extra time on. And of course, we might be a little bit more lenient on Rings of Power than most people. We're there because it looks damn good and everything like that as well. Of course, we'll call out the acting, some of the scripting when it needs to be called out. But for the most part, it's going in the right direction. But I don't understand. You can dawdle on something for half a decade and let it dwindle, and then maybe the most important IP in kind of history in a lot of ways, you're just gonna just toss out there. And let 2 new and I like the showrunners, but it is their very first show. You're just going to let 2 new guys just jump at maybe the most important IP in history, and the 2 that people have been clamoring about, Bond and Stargate and RoboCop and Legally Blonde. If we want to add everything else, like where are
Legally Blonde? They're doing a Legally Blonde series.
Well, okay. We joke about that one, but that is the easiest one for them to actually get done and put out there, and they still haven't done it. And they still are not able to do it. It is infuriating.
It was green lit before MGM sale went through. It was done. They started development work. They had on the RoboCop series as well. It was green lit. They had already started work on it, and it's took them another 3 years. And we wonder why Stargate's still not been announced. I get people on their comments sometimes going, "It's never going to happen. Just give it up, man." And I'm just like, "Well, look, Bond hasn't happened. RoboCop's still not actually on a production schedule yet. And none of these projects have been done. Amazon are really crap at this. And they need to pull their fucking... On one hand, they talk about metadata, and one of the things they talk about is we must not have a hard reboot, even though now apparently they're open to the idea. So I was on board with it. I was just like, well, brilliant, metadata all day. That's fantastic if that's the sort of answer you're going to come up with. But then it's like too many cooks spoil the broth sort of thing, and they just like it's almost like there's just too much, and they just can't make a decision. Before a creator comes in and goes, we actually would like to change some things because we want to make it our own, and Stargate and Amazon just go, no. So creators get frustrated.
And rightfully so. You're just dwaddling and dwindling, just to keep those words going. But like, actually, it's limbo. You're stuck in limbo in production hell over there.
Well, here's another thing that I think Amazon is opening himself up to is you got all these really good stories and you got really good creators that want to work on these franchises, and they keep hitting these roadblocks with Amazon MGM. So what do? They go to another streaming service with this other awesome idea. And so you've got brain drain going on from the creative community away from Amazon, because the writers and directors, producers know, well, you can't get shit done over there because you got to wait for 2 years of metadata before anyone can make a decision. And so then you get somebody else, and, Warner Brothers maybe, or whoever, and it's like, oh, fuck, that sounds great. Do it. Here's a big stack of money. We'll get this stage over here. We'll just
I was talking to a chap who, if I told you his name, you'd know his name. All right, I'll just go as far as saying that. And he's a producer.
Is this Harris we're talking about?
Yes, Harris. They're a producer. They've done a little bit of directing, and they've done some executive producing. You would know the name.
Okay.
Harris wouldn't, because he's not a Star Trek fan, but the normal people would know the name.
Jerry
Anyway, I spoke
Seinfeld?
to him, and I asked him in a little bit of a chat we had, and I said, well, who is if you had got a new project, where would you want to sell it? Who do you go to first? Who's like the dream pitch sort of thing too? And guess what he said?
Apple.
Stormy, what's your guess, sir?
Well, if it's a dream pitch, I would have said Apple or maybe Netflix these days, or this week, maybe Netflix.
Sarah, what do you think?
I'll go with Netflix.
Apple. It was Apple.
Okay.
Yeah.
For a couple of reasons. Apple don't cancel anything. Once they agree to something, they just do it. But also, apparently, if you can get through the pitch meetings, which are apparently an arse, apparently you do have to. There's like layer upon layer, and you have to get. I mean, if you get green lit with Apple, it's because you've gone through about 10 layers of pitches and things, which is the way it should be, to be honest. But apparently, they will take a pitch for almost anything. I mean, literally, you could come up and go, I've got this amazing idea. It's about a toasty. It's a cheese toasty, and it comes to life. And they'll go, interesting, tell us more about it. But then as it goes through the scales, at some point, somebody goes, no, this is a stupid idea. What do you want about a cheese toasty that comes to life? What are you, a retailer? Oh, no, I'd say that. What are you, a moron?
Well, I'm so
kicked in then for a second.
I want to see the cheese toasty superhero.
What are you, a
I
racist?
kind of do too.
Yeah. I want to see a cheese toasty superhero now. I've said that. So it's really hard to get something done with Apple. But if they sign off on it, they will make it, and they will leave you alone, and you will get a reasonable budget and everything. And apparently they're the golden apple. They're the one producers want to get projects with, if you can. The problem with Netflix is they will make it, but they will cancel your ass if it doesn't do brilliant.
Yeah.
Like instantly. Cancel it. So, and they only ever sign up for one series, whereas Apple will sign up for 2 or 3 straight away. So Silo hasn't pulled up any trees. Stood okay, but they've just agreed to do season 3 and 4.
Oh wow.
Just off the bat of it, sort of thing. So, and season 2's only just come out. So, yes.
Well, the things on my watch list this week are Apple.
Yeah.
They're on Apple.
Just the thing.
Sorry.
If we did the toasty idea, we've got a sponsor already lined up with George Foreman. Oh my God.
Yeah.
This project's got legs, people. Imagine the product placement as well.
Superhero.
We can have all the different cheese companies, like product placement. And the bread company. This is amazing. Let's do this.
Let's do it.
God. Sorry, Stormy.
we'll tap it all together and make him the Tachyon Toasty, and he'll go super fast.
The Tachyon Pulse podcast. Go and check it out. There's a link in the description.
A brief note to our audience: don't follow us for great ideas.
No.
Follow us for the best of ideas.
No.
Exactly.
I know how to make a nice toasty though.
Okay. Just from what you were just saying with everything, though, because I could talk about toasties all day. Cheesehead, Green Bay.
So what's Toasty's sidekick's name?
Brown sauce. Mr.
Brown sauce. Cream
Brown
filling.
sauce, man.
Brown sauce man. Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry, Harris. Didn't mean to.
It would just be George Foreman. It's
Oh,
George
George
Foreman
Foreman.
right behind Toasty the entire time.
I think George Foreman's the villain of the piece. Myself, the George Foreman toasty maker's the villain.
He's the
He
Obadiah
created
Stane.
the toasty maker, but then he wants to burn him.
He's the Obadiah Stane. He's
Yeah.
like, okay, you're my buddy. You're under my wing. I got you. And then just rips it all out.
Like I said, don't follow us for great ideas.
Anyway, Harris, go on, mate. You were trying to stop talking about super
Well,
toasty.
just from the Amazon stuff to Apple, it made me think. I get Amazon doing it the way they do it in some ways. Say, all right, well, you're coming to us with a project. We won't necessarily fund you, but you can put it on our project, our tab essentially, and we'll put it on Prime. Or hey, you're going to bring a project to us. Well, then we're gonna make sure we dot our I's and cross our T's and mind everything that we can for this project. But also, you would kind of think it's such an ultimatum that, okay, so either we secede half our control and give it all to you, or we come at our project and instead of going to Amazon and say, hey, y'all are the big company that we could use a couple dollars from, and we would like you to support us. We'd like to be on your channel, so on and so forth. Okay, but we either come at you with everything we can and make it ourselves, and y'all just kind of promote it, or you take full control over it. It's kind of like a one or the other instead of just kind of working with creators.
Collaboration, isn't there? There's no middleman. There's no we trust you as a creator, so we're going to do this and this. But then again, how did the Rings of Power guys get that job? Do you know what I mean? It's like, what on earth did if this is right, and they do everything by committee? To be honest, we're thinking about that. All of a sudden, some of the decisions for Rings of Power make a little bit more sense.
Yeah.
But with the way the world is at the moment, or the way the world was 5 years ago, in particular, when Rings of Power went into production, sort of thing. But how on earth did those guys get the job?
Well, maybe Rings of Power was the reason they went to committee and made it.
What? Sorry.
Well, maybe the reason they went to committees and metadata legal decisions is because of Rings of Power and not the other way around. Maybe that was it. Maybe that was.
To be fair, I'll have to ask that question. If that's something they've always done, or is that something that's sort of triggered in the last couple of years because of Rings of Power? Have they been burned, so they've decided to go a different way with it? Yeah.
Because Rings of Power is probably, if that decision making was because of Rings of Power or started because of that, it would have been about 5 years ago, right? Because 2 years between the seasons, 3 years ago, year and a half maybe before production to actually make. Yeah.
Well, they're obsessed with the Rings of. I don't know how many times I've spoken to people in and around, or that have spoken to Amazon, and you get this thing, the Ring of Power problem. And they're obsessed with it, but rightfully so, because it lost the company a crap load of money, and sort of respect sort of thing. It was the most watched thing Amazon had ever done when it first came out, and then it halved. Like by the third episode, the viewing numbers had halved. I know you guys have watched season 2. I've got no interest in watching season 2.
It took me a long time to watch it. It took me twice as long as it took the series to air for me to actually sit down and finish it. And I started it once.
I still haven't.
Yeah, I'll give it a go. I'm off for Christmas, so I'll give it a go. But I'm not excited to watch it at all. When it came out, I was like, nah. Well, you remember when the first season came out, you couldn't get away from it. They were printing Rings of Power on your bloody post. You know, you go, I've ordered a new battery charger and I've got a Rings of Power poster in here. So there's none of that for the second season, or nothing like to the degree.
Which is kind of smart, I guess, to a degree, because you do want to garner goodwill again, which they did. They gained a lot of goodwill back from this season. I don't know if it's enough, but it was pushing in the right direction, and I'm pretty sure most people agree with that. I don't know if it's enough of the right direction. We'll see. They did just greenlight it for more, so we're about to get some new Lenore, which will be cool. But
they haven't got a choice. So they've got to do the 5 seasons they planned. They've got to.
I mean, aren't they contracted to do 5 seasons? Period. To the point.
I think they will do the 5 seasons, mate. Yeah.
But the Rings of Power, I thought second season, the pacing of the stories were faster. I think the emotional highs and lows were more poignant. I don't think there's a lot of emotional highs and lows in season 1. It seemed like 5,000 years of backstory trying to crammed into like one little bit. But yeah, the last 4 episodes of Rings of Power was really, really just good.
I agree.
Oh, that's because they're really, really good.
I might watch it then.
I mean, it's
purpose.
But there's a great variation in the storytelling techniques between season 1 and season 2, and season 2 really did well. I think there was a lot they had. There was just so much they tried to cram into season 1 in terms of lore. And I get that they're extrapolating all the storylines from, tons of sources within, the Tolkien universe, but it was just, I'm not saying that, season 2 is the reward for season 1, but it did get a lot better, especially the last 4 episodes were really, 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 really good. I think they did.
Do you know how much Gandalf cost them?
Just the name?
Have you heard this? So apparently they didn't have agreement that character that ended up being Gandalf was not supposed to be Gandalf in the first season. That's why it's not mentioned, because they didn't have the rights to it, or it crossed over with some deal that Warner Brothers. So they apparently had to pay off Warner Brothers basically to be allowed to use Gandalf in the final season. But the creators were like, we've got to do this.
That's I thought it was those characters were blue wizards because they were locked out of the Gandalf name. So blue wizard, and everything started leading up to that. And I'm Gandalf.
No, it was millions. I've heard a couple of figures jumping around that it was millions, which is probably exact. I heard one figure that was like 30 million. That it's cost Gandalf, and I'm like, I very much doubt it was that. Normally, these things aren't done with money. Normally, they're done with like, we'll do this for you, and you do this for us. We'll scratch your back. When it's an agreement between studios, they don't normally pay. But apparently, it wasn't the family that was the problem. It was Warner Brothers that was the problem.
Oh wow!
And there was some sort of agreement and some sort of payment. But yeah, it was in the millions. But yeah, it was, and the deal was only struck. It wasn't long before season 2 started production, sort of thing. They struck a deal to do it. I was like, it's a bit like bloody Spider-Man in Sony and the Marvel argument. It's like, we want it, you can't have it. We want it, you can't have it. We'll give you loads of money. Oh, okay.
It's like, all right, you twisted my arm.
Yeah.
Real quick, while we are on Rings of Power. Stormy, we got the Gandalf in there. I still think he probably should have been a blue wizard. But since you are our resident Gandalf, did you enjoy the inclusion of the character we've been waiting to really see for 25, 30 years now?
Mm-hmm.
He's got a lot of yellow and blue going on. Did you enjoy Tom Bombadil?
Oh, I didn't know where the hell you were going with this. I was prepared for anything. His boots could have been more yellow, but it was Bombadil always seemed to have this aloofness in the literature, and I think the actor did kind of portray that aloofness. It was like, hey, you want some tea? Or I've got to go do this absolute. What the hell is James doing?
The hat is cutting the blood supply off to my brain.
Oh,
and I can't afford that when we're on a live.
For a second, I didn't know what was going on.
I'm trying to stretch it a bit.
Oh,
Jay's gonna be mid sip of the rum and just fall over.
Yeah, and like rum and no blood to brain. Come on.
Yeah, that'd be an issue.
I'll start hitting on Sarah. Hey, Sarah. How you doing?
You have a giant head. Yeah, stretch out the head.
Who says I got a giant head? They're a liar.
So yeah. Anyway,
Sorry, Stormy.
yeah, Bombadil. I thought was well done. It was also, it seemed like it was played with. They wrote it in a serious manner, not sometimes in the books, or especially for Bombadil, it was very really lighthearted, and
He's jovial almost, even if you don't want him to be.
he's totally. It's like Robin Williams out of control, and but he was calmer, but he still had the aloofness, and the God, I saw a really funny meme about Tom Bombadil and one of the Hobbits, and it was something I can't even mention on this channel. My language is kind of free flowing on this channel, but it was hysterical. So just look up, Bombadil memes on Google, and I'll assure you'll find something really vile and horrible. And really funny.
But you enjoyed them though. I had fun with them.
Yeah.
Self-control there. Good self-control there, Stormy. Well done, mate.
You're welcome this time.
We haven't been threatened with demonetization for a few months.
Somehow.
Take pride in it.
Well, we did play the Aliens trailer. That one got close.
Merry Christmas, you cat. No.
Well, wait, yeah.
We'll see you next Tuesday.
Yeah. Anyway, so you're asking what we've been watching this week.
Yeah. Let's just do that.
Yeah.
I
Wait,
have watched.
we all pick our favorite Christmas movie outside
Yeah,
of
I
this.
know.
Yeah.
So I did watch Violent Night. I watched Die Hard a couple of days ago, obviously. I watched the classic Miracle on 34th Street. It's not the classic, it's actually the 1984 version, but
Still.
I watched Miracle on 34th Street. But I have caught up with Skeleton Crew.
Uh-oh.
And I don't hate it.
It's good.
Very
I
nice.
like it.
I'm not going to
enjoying
go
it.
that far.
Definitely alternate timeline here. Definitely alternate timeline. He likes Star Trek, or he doesn't hate Star Trek, and he's liking American football, and he's drinking coffee.
Yeah.
Alternate timeline.
Yep. I need to get my moustache, my evil moustache from somewhere.
Mirror.
I'm not going to say I like it. I'm not like, oh, next episode's out. Oh, I can't wait. Let's see what the character I can't remember his name does, and is the elephant going to get beheaded or something? I'm hoping something. I just want something bad to happen to the elephant. The Ephelon.
Something's got it.
Yeah, something bad's going to happen to Ephelon.
I hate it. It's gonna have to though. He's like the sweetest characters. Sorry, buddy. Something
Nah,
bad's gonna happen.
I'm just thinking from a production point of view. They must be looking every time this Ephelon is on this on the screen. It's costing us a fortune. We've got to kill it by the 4th episode. So hopefully,
My least favorite character.
yeah. But no, I don't hate it. It's okay.
You said you're completely caught up with it too, all 4 episodes.
Me?
Yeah.
Yes.
All 4 episodes. Yeah. And Sarah likes it, but she's easily pleased. So,
I don't know about that.
I don't know about that comment that just came up.
I'm not
Don't
saying I'm
tell
like
me.
in love with the show, but I'm enjoying it. My husband and I are watching it, and I'm enjoying it. So I finished Dune Prophecy last night. That was really good.
Is it actually done?
Yeah, it's only 6 episodes.
Okay.
I haven't watched that yet, but I haven't got Sky Atlantic. It's on Sky Atlantic here in the UK, and I haven't got it at the moment. I need to get.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it. I think it's pretty good.
0 out of 10. Where would you kind of place it?
1 out of 10. Probably like an 8.
Oh, cool.
Really that good? Is it the sort of thing Harris would love though, because it's a really slow burn, which I don't mind in the movies, but I was thinking on TV series.
I think you'd like it, especially since it has what's his name in it? Ragnar.
The Viking, Travis Fimmel.
Yeah, he's good in it. Yeah,
Good. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Oh well. I might watch it.
I mean, for me, Dune Prophecy, I thought it really kept close to the Dune theme. You know, I think the Sardaukar were really creepy, and you know, the Bene Gesserit also really creepy
Mhm.
and controlling and manipulative in a very, very good dramatic way. And it just I can't say enough good things about it. I mean, I'd give it a 9 because
Is it?
I was really hoping for shit, and I was really pleasantly surprised. I mean, it's really good.
It is.
Would y'all put it on par with a season 1 of House of Dragon or Game of Thrones, but
Yes.
maybe space?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Cool. Okay, that's
Oh God,
really good.
I'm going to have to watch it then.
Mhm.
Dear Lord. Okay.
High
Get my
praise.
sky sorted.
Get your sky sorted. Now, keep in
Damn
mind,
it.
I'm a big Dune fan, so maybe I'm overly harsh. I mean, the David Lynch version I really like for different reasons, especially the non-narrated version of Lynch's Dune was good. But I thought the versions of Dune and Dune 2 with Zendaya were really good. I like the way Paul Atreides was portrayed. But it was just it seems like we're in a world where there's better Dune. And that said, the Sci-Fi Channel version of Dune and Children of Dune, I thought was also really good because they treated it really, they treated it honestly and they treated it seriously. I mean, the effects were B grade. I thought for Sci-Fi Channel.
It was Sci-Fi Channel. I like that miniseries a lot. I own it actually. I haven't seen Children of Dune. I got to watch that.
The Sci-Fi Channel only do B grade special effects.
Yeah, I mean, it's clearly, I mean, what we're seeing, from the previous 2 Dune movies and Dennis Villeneuve's Dune movies and the series, the effects are off the hook. And they're not distracting.
I saw it at IMAX. I saw Dune 2 IMAX on the properly big screen with the make your ears bleed sound effects. And the worms attack, it blow your socks off. It was incredible. It doesn't, at home it doesn't do it justice. This is one of those, the cinema's not doing as well as it could, even though I know Disney took $5 billion this year for the first time since pandemic and blah blah blah. We're getting a start-stop sort of recovery of the cinemas. But Dune is definitely one of those movies that if you didn't see it at the cinema, you really missed out. You really missed out. It is phenomenally good at the cinema, and particularly in IMAX.
Just thinking IMAX the last couple of years, we have been spoiled. There's always a bunch of big movies that fit IMAX and do IMAX very well. But then we had Top Gun Maverick, then Dune, and after Dune, we had Oppenheimer. And after Oppenheimer, we had Dune 2, and then it feels like it just gets better.
I mean, Avatar, mate. Avatar: The Way of Water. I wasn't a massive fan of the movie in lots of ways, but it's definitely a film you want to see at the cinema.
It's gorgeous.
100%. I mean, so beautifully made. You've got to watch it at the cinema. I think there's a lot of TV. I think the cinemas are missing a trick and not showing more sort of like TV shows at the cinema. Things like Game of Thrones and stuff. How cool would that be on the big screen?
Like every Friday night, you go see
it.
Yeah. Just like even if it was cheap, like a couple of quid for it. If it was a couple of quid for a ticket, like a third of what it normally costs or whatever, and they show TV shows and put some adverts on, whatever. I don't know, whatever. But people would go. I think anyway. But
I mean, I hear a lot of people saying, "Well, it's already been in the cinema. Why should we put it in there?" These kind of people that say this definitely have never heard of the movie The Rocky Horror Picture Show, which is 1976, 77, 77.
Yeah, which bombed when it first came out. Yeah,
bombed first, and it's still. I mean, it's still.
There's a cinema in San Francisco somewhere that's been showing it every Friday night since like 1976. It's shown it every single week since 1977. I saw something about that recently. That it absolutely bombed, and then they introduced sort of like a late night.
The late night, midnight showings.
Yeah, and it slowly built up this cult status, and Tim Curry, dear God, he was a man, he was a legend. But I came with Tim Curry from like things like Cluedo voicing every cartoon villain.
Oh my
like,
God! Right?
that I grew up with, and then obviously villain and things. And he was a villain in my favorite game when I was a kid, Red Alert, Command and Conquer Red Alert.
Oh,
I love that game. And he was a villain. He played a villain in it. And it was really cheesy. But anyway, so I hadn't, but I'd never seen Rocky Horror Picture Show. I just saw that Tim Curry was in it, and I'm like, I am watching the crap out of it. Brilliant, Tim Curry's one of my favorite actors. What the hell is this?
I remember first time I saw it was like I think 79. Whenever Alien, the first Alien movie came out, and I was just floored because it was especially in cinema. There was just something. I mean, for one thing, two guys in bed.
Otis made it home.
Thank you. We've had a cat missing for 2 days.
Well. Anyway, yeah, but there was like two guys in bed, and you did not see that shit in a cinema. Well, that kind of a cinema. In 1979, and I mean, it was just, and it spoke to me in all the sorts of right ways. But I mean, it was just full of sex, drugs, and rock and roll. I mean, that's what it was. I mean, it was
in the late 70s and early 80s, we have a TV show here in the UK called Morecambe and Wise. And you might know them, actually. They did a couple of movies and things.
What was it? What's the title?
Morecambe and Wise. They're a double act. So they're a big comedic. They were the biggest comedian double act in the UK for like 2 decades. Eric Morecambe and Ernie Wise. Right? But they used to do a skit. So they used to do like they used to do like singing and dancing and entertainment. They were the biggest thing they did was because they used to do the Christmas special every year, and it was literally the biggest thing on TV every year for 2 decades something. But they used to do these skits where they're showing them living together, and they used to be laying in bed together and doing the jokes or whatever it was. Or one of their famous skits is them in the kitchen, and there's a song, and they're like making breakfast and messing around, and they're like. I think
I've seen this. I think I've.
It's to the striptease song, da, 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 and but them like dancing and making breakfast and making juice. Juice and these things, and then it's just brilliant. But nobody questioned that they were in bed together. Nobody questioned it. No, that's definitely not any of them. That's Shooting Stars guys.
Not Morecambe and Wise.
No, it's not Morecambe and Wise. They're just. But I say they were just in bed together, and nobody questioned it. Nobody. It was an innocent age, so wasn't it back then? They were both. Neither of them were gay. They were both married, kids. I mean, Eric particularly was a prolific womanizer. But they did this thing, and they thought it was funny, but it was just an innocent age. Nobody kicked off on social media. Nobody had a flap or got really insulted by it. It was just funny. It was just was. Nobody questioned it. It was just.
But yeah, ever since 79, I just loved Tim Curry, and all of a sudden he appeared everywhere.
Yeah,
there's a sci-fi show on TV, Earth 2. I think he was in. He played the villain there.
Yeah.
Oh, Hobbit. And I mean Clue and Legion. I mean, if you look at his IMDb, he's still. I mean, even after he had the horrible stroke, he's still working. I mean, he's still got shit in production now.
He was still doing voiceovers on cartoons. He was Skeletor for years before Mark Hamill did it. He was,
and now Jared Leto.
Sorry?
Oh
Jared
yeah,
now going to be Skeletor.
Leto's going to be Skeletor. In live,
I think people kick off about that. I think that's quite cool casting.
I think it's great, especially after the Haunted Mansion. He essentially did a Skeletor-like character in that Haunted Mansion remake, which wasn't great, but he was good in the couple minutes he was there.
And I quite like Jared. I like Jared Leto's Joker. I didn't hate it. I wish they'd done a bit more with that. I think it's a shame we didn't get to see more of that.
What's my one again?
Sorry. Yeah, no, I liked it. I like the cutscene they did for Snyder's verse when he's in that as well. I quite like that. But even though I didn't like the movie generally.
Yeah.
But,
If he were the actual villain, I think that movie could have been much different.
It could have really worked. I'd have liked to have seen him more as the villain in Suicide Squad. I think that film would have been better as well. But I know Jared Leto is a nutter, but I don't think he's a bad actor. But I think as Skeletor, I'm just like, yeah, that works all day for me.
He's kooky and like zany and fun and wild, and he'll take that into a way. I think he'll almost Johnny Depp that a little bit, you know, just give him some actual. Every time you put prosthetics on him or do something wild for him, he just takes it and runs, which is interesting.
Yeah. I cannot wait for that He-Man movie. I may have mentioned this on this channel once or twice before. I'm looking forward to that. See, that's an Amazon
that Kevin Smith's doing, right?
I don't like the Kevin Smith animated movie, series, particularly. And Kevin Smith did it very much in the way similar style to the cartoon series that I grew up with that I loved. And it just didn't quite work. Masters of the Universe. Now, this is the live action. This is the live action movie. So Netflix were running with it. Netflix put it in, greenlit it, spent $13 million, never filmed a second, and then sold it to Amazon.
Oh, wow.
Now Amazon are doing it. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, it was. It's been in pre-production for like 2 years. But yeah, can't wait. It's going to be awesome.
So if I could just go back to Tim Curry for one moment. IMDb is showing him as being an actor in 243 productions.
Wow.
Above and Beyond, Rocky Horror, Over the Garden, Ribbit. He was Darth Sidious in Chancellor Palpatine in Clone Wars, the series.
He was also in Home Alone, another Christmas movie.
Tim Curry, Home Alone 2, yeah.
Oh, here's a movie I haven't seen. What About Dick? I got to go see that.
I've seen What About Dick, yeah. Jim Carrey, wasn't it? Oh, was that Jim Carrey and Ewan McGregor? Is that am I thinking of the right film?
No, that's Fun with Dick and Jane.
Fun with Dick and Jane?
Yeah, you're right.
Here's another Tim Curry one I've not seen or heard of. The High Fructose Adventures of Annoying Orange.
The High Fructose? Oh, God.
Annoying Orange. Oh.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
The High Fructose got me, then you said Annoying Orange, and I just wish I hadn't said anything.
He was my favorite character in the musical version of Annie.
Command and Conquer. Scooby-Doo, the Goblin King. Poirot.
He's 80-something right now, 243. That's just, that's on.
I thought he was dead.
3 films. No, he's next to dead. He's in a bad condition right now.
I know he's not well.
He just did something, though.
Did he actually do something?
Like a couple, 2 or 3 years ago, even with his condition.
I
I
saw him in an interview thing that just broke my heart.
He's got something in production now. It's Dagon, the Troll World Chronicles. I think that's
that's right.
That's going to be a voiceover Dagon as well as that's a game, isn't it? That'll be a voiceover game as well.
Yeah, he had a film come out August 21st this year.
Yeah. Oh, amazing. Oh, I'd love to see that.
Oh. Well, I'm glad he's still working even through all these bad conditions and everything.
Well, that's the first thing in a while. That was a big deal early this year.
Yeah.
What was that?
Yeah, one of my favorite character actors of all time.
Yeah.
Oh, easy.
And if you wanted somebody, you needed a voice that could, like somebody to do something big. It's just like, just amazing.
He's always kind of been, in my mind, like almost the comical Clancy Brown.
Yeah.
If that makes sense, where you can put him in live action or voice, and it's going to be spot on and perfect every time.
And Clue is one of those films that I'll watch every couple of years, but because of him. Miss Scarlett's boobs are interesting. I will admit that. No, sorry, the French Maid. The French Maid is interesting. Sorry, Sarah. But mainly, Clue is I like the ding dong. What is it? Ding dong. You're singing Telegram. Bang! Just cracks me up.
There's
so funny. And then but Tim Curry is just.
It needs to leave the wood.
Oh, he's just a legend. He's so good in that film. Amazing. What have you done?
Oh, go ahead. So what else did you see this week, Jay?
I watched Star Wars. I've been watching Christmas movies, and I discovered that season 6 of What We Did in the Shadows was on Disney Plus. I didn't know. So I very excitedly text Harris, season 6, apostrophe. Harris immediately texts back, "What the hell are you on about?" Because he's seen it a while ago, I imagine. I don't know if it's because we're in Britain, we might have been a bit behind you, actually, to be fair. But and then I went, "What do we do in the Shadows?" So I watched What We Do in the Shadows. And I have to admit, the series was probably one of the weakest of the 5. It was still funny, and it was still brilliant, but it wasn't as quite out there as some of the others. But it had a lovely end. I thought the end was fantastic. It really rounded off the whole thing really nicely.
I think they did that on purpose. It felt like, but it was slow.
Yeah, but yeah, I adored it. So yeah, that's been my week. I don't think I've really watched anything else. How about you, Stormy? What are you watching?
I
I'm gonna
think
go for a wee.
you go for a wee, and I'll start off with. I think in terms of cultural influence, I think the thing that I watched this day this last week that has the most cultural influence was the damn Superman trailer. I couldn't get away.
Oh yeah.
It was everywhere. The ads were on Instagram, ads were on Threads. There's ads all over Facebook. So apparently, I tickled somebody's algorithm someplace. So I saw the Superman trailer. The dog is my favorite.
Did you enjoy it? Because old Jay over here wasn't necessarily the biggest fan of it from that video earlier.
If we're judging trailers now, the trailer is okay, but the trailer was awesome because of the dog.
Yeah.
I like dogs. I like animals a lot, but it was just the dog was so sweet. I want the dog. So the best part about Deadpool and Wolverine was the dog. The dog loved it. Okay, so I'm not I was able to squeeze in Lord of the Rings, all 3 expanded versions, of course. I finished off Lioness, caught up with Landman. Really too good, Taylor Sheridan. I think if it wasn't for Star Trek and Taylor Sheridan, there'd be no such thing as the Paramount Network.
Paramount Plus would be screwed, wouldn't it? It really would.
They wouldn't have been making money. They would have been done under.
Yeah. I mean, so those are their 2 reprieves over on Paramount.
First season of Lioness was excellent. I will watch. I will have to get Paramount Plus shortly and watch the 2nd season.
Same. I haven't watched it yet. It's so good.
So I caught up on Skeleton Crew, caught up on Silo, watched Die Hard. I also watched the Peanuts Christmas special along with the Star Wars Christmas special.
Oh, why?
Yeah,
why would you torture yourself like that?
It was just like, I was tired and said, well, I do have fond memories of the Peanuts Christmas special, especially the dance scene, and that was kind of cool. Actually, I saw the reason I went and watched it this time is because I saw a meme of this band class reenacting with rather good, imitation of the dance scene in the cartoon. I said, oh, shit. How good was it? So I just watched the whole thing, and it was the best 20. It wasn't the best 25 minutes of my life, but it was kind of good. And then
you watched the Star Wars Christmas special because you wanted to what?
Oh no, that was the Peanuts special I was wanting to watch. The Star Wars thing, it just popped up on Disney. I said, well, fuck, click.
It was on Disney? We were playing cards this week and we watched it as well, but we couldn't find it on Disney Plus. We were pissed off. We were like, where are we going to find this? We just found it on YouTube.
It popped up as something. It popped up in the Star Wars section as the Ewoks Christmas special.
Didn't look like you looked very hard.
Well, we also weren't looking too hard for it. We were like, well, if it's on YouTube, it'll be there. We ended up watching it as well.
So anyway, the last thing was, in the holes between all of that, I was rewatching SG-1.
Stormy, you not been in work this week, mate?
Oh, I'm not going back to work until the 6th of January.
I mean,
There are advantages to being a rocket scientist. I'm telling you.
yeah. Just the annual leave, nothing else.
Right. Actually, I'm doing schoolwork all this week, trying to finish off the semester. But
Amazing.
and Heather's coming in this weekend, and so you won't see me after that until way into the new year.
Because you'll be exhausted.
I'll be exhausted.
From all the shagging.
Or driving all over the American Southwest, one or the other.
Okay, one of those two things.
Probably driving.
Anyway. Sarah, what have you been watching, me darling? I don't know.
Well, Dune Prophecy, we kind of already covered that. Skeleton Crew, I'm really liking that. I'm really loving Nick Frost as SM-33.
Is it Nick Frost?
Yeah.
I realized it was Nick Frost.
Yep. Then, as usual, lots of hockey. Running around doing Christmas errands, Gonna try to get some Christmas movies in this week. So my favorite Christmas movie is TNT did A Christmas Carol with Patrick Stewart, which is really good.
It is good. He is good in that, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Christmas Carol is my favorite. Sort of,
yeah.
It's my book. I read it most Christmases. I do love Christmas Carol. The Muppets Christmas Carol obviously is the daddy.
Yeah.
Okay, but I know a brilliant. I heard a brilliant Nick Frost story the other day. Simon Pegg was in an interview, and they asked him if there's a dead body in your trunk, who do you call first? And they gave him a couple of options, and he went, as soon as he says, look, before you even mention the options, my first thought was Nick Frost. And he says, because though he's already proven that he would back me up. He's temping said, right, so years ago I had this girlfriend, and it was a bit of a nightmare, and we had a really nasty breakup. And during the breakup, I did a stupid young man thing. I punched the wall, cut my hand really bad. There was blood everywhere. And then I went round to Nick's to sort of shoulder to cry and sort of thing. And he says, it's just a nightmare. But he's like, it's still covered in blood. And Nick went, have you killed her? But he's like really deadpan sort of thing. And Simon Pegg knew there and then that if ever there was a dead body in the boot, Nick Frost has got his back. We've all got to have that friend that'll help you bury a body if you need to.
Hopefully Nick Frost is all in order to do that.
Yeah. I've got my dead body mate that I know if I phoned up and went, I've got a body to get rid of, he'd be like, I'll get my shovel. You all need one dead body mate. But yeah. So how about your modern Christmas movie favourites, Sarah? Because I don't think you shouted in with Violet.
Yeah, because I have to think about that. Is Elf considered modern?
No.
Oh yeah.
And it's also rubbish. It's the most overrated Christmas movie ever made. It's got 3 good bits in it. The rest of the film is shit.
What timeline are we on now? I'm worried.
Well, Will Ferrell is awesome, and he's really good in it. It's not a good film, in my humble opinion. Anyway, but no,
I'd agree to overhype.
Well, I think it's probably nearly 20 years old, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I asked if it's still new. That's where we get the Christmas narwhal from, right? Is that
Yes.
Yeah.
Narwhal.
You find your dad.
So in terms of Chris in modern, I'm hoping this is modern enough. Christmas carols or Christmas Chronicles, the one with Kurt Russell.
Yeah, that's modern enough. It's only 5 years old. 4 or 5 years old.
I gotta watch that one.
It's very, very good. Don't watch the second one. Save yourself 2 hours. But the first one is excellent. It's very, very good.
Elf is also, I agree. Elf is also good. One of my faves.
Mm-hmm.
You're incorrect. Oh my God, it's Santa! It's given a million memes. That's funny, but no, don't like it. Not for me.
Yeah, Or I'm with you, Heather, wherever the microphone.
I have to
You're
see
all-
Violent Night. My husband will probably like that one.
Oh,
It's
y'all will love
Home Alone, Santa Claus the movie,
Yep.
and Die Hard. It's like those three films got together and made a love child, and that love child is Violent Night.
it. It was a nice
Yeah.
little-
Everybody in the
Honestly.
Does that have what's his name from Stranger Things?
Yeah,
Yeah.
David Harbour, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It's bloody brilliant.
Yeah.
It's so good.
I have to watch it.
I saw it at the cinema a couple of years ago, and
I need to
just came out
rewatch
just
it
like,
for this
that's
year.
the best Christmas movie ever made.
Do you remember obviously the main guy in there, the dark haired dude, the brunette dude? You recognize the guy, but you can't really think of where he's from, right?
Well, I know him from because he was Luigi in the Mario Brothers, obviously.
Oh, that was him.
Yeah. But I mean, he's in it because the guys that made it are the guys that did John Wick and what's his name? No Man. What the hell was that called? That's brilliant. Ah, damn it.
Oh no, nobody.
Nobody.
Yeah.
So it's the guys that did that made it. So that's why he's in it. They love him. But what's his name? Joe Aguilera or something? He's got
Something like that. It took me forever to think about where I recognize him from. I think the only other like project that I know like his acting from, we don't get to see him much because he is translucent in The Boys. He's the guy that Huey gets in the first season and has to.
Yeah. But no, he's fantastic in it, and yeah, Scrooge, Mr. Scrooge. But no, he's just fantastic in it. It's just such a good film.
There's a good chance we're watching it tonight.
I might have to watch it again. I'm gonna go get drunk, come back, and watch Violent Night. There we go. That's my evening plan.
There you go.
Sounds like a great plan.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go in a couple of minutes, guys. I'm really sorry, but I gotta sort of get ready to go out. But
Well, give us all the craziness that you can think of in the next 15 minutes or 5
well,
minutes.
15 minutes ago, my next video premiered on Tack Paul's podcast. So I know I've mentioned that, but go subscribe. And
Shameless promotion. There we go.
it's part of the SciTrek family, so it's not really promotion. I'm more disappointed I've only got like 20 subscribers. Come on, guys! There's 3,800 or 30,800 of you out there that subscribe. People, share. Let's get it on there. Let's get 100 subscribers as quick as we can.
Heyo.
I suppose I should subscribe.
Yes, Sarah, you should subscribe.
Just goes into existential crisis. Just
Yeah.
Well, this one's a Stargate video anyway, because we've already sort of talked about the content, but I sort of lay it out a bit more detail. So,
okay. You said a magic word right there. Surprise. Stargate. We were talking earlier. The hard reboot is a little bit more plausible now, sadly. So with that in mind, obviously that's kind of the consolation prize, the hard reboot at this point. A year ago, almost to the day, to the week for damn sure, we were talking about a certain Jordan Peele possibly making Stargate, but he wanted to do a hard reboot.
yeah, he did, yeah.
So a year ago, today-ish, at this point, would you rather that hard reboot just started and they actually got to work and no, still just keep pushing?
Really?
I'm almost at the point where I would take anything, yeah. But
Yeah.
And there are benefits to a hard reboot. Don't get me. I've always argued there are benefits to a hard reboot. I know some people are like, no, hard reboot. No, comprende anglais. But for me, I could be on board. I'd never wanted Jordan Peele to do it. I thought that was a terrible idea, and I don't know why they had the conversation with him. But as far as I know, it never got beyond sort of like a chat. And as soon as that's probably another time actually that he's probably been put off by Amazon and all the metadata, because he's not the sort of guy that he would want to do a film his own way, wouldn't he? But I'd rather have a hard reboot than a bad continuation.
Yeah. Yeah.
I agree with that.
At the end of the day,
They do some middle ground where it's like a soft reboot, or is that kind of what they're doing now or want to do now? I don't know.
I think it's going to depend on what they're. So they're going to be doing pitch meetings in the new year, and anybody that's got an idea is going to be able to come and pitch, and they'll, bad robot people.
Can we come pitch some Amazon?
Yeah. Well, we should get together. Yeah, we could pitch. We get together with Jen and pitch something.
Yeah.
We'll get Dial the Gate, Jenny, and us, and we'll just be like, the Stargate community is going to write it now. And sorry, y'all, we're taking back control.
Yeah. This isn't a pitch meeting. This is
a takeover.
A takeover.
Hostile, not hostile, whatever you want to say. It's happening.
What's it called when if you got a friend who's bothered and you have an intervention? This isn't a pitch meeting. This is an intervention. Stop being arseholes. Do what you're told. But I think that's where I lean to. It really, I almost at this point don't care what they do as long as it's good. And if to get a good show again, it has to be a hard reboot or some sort of. I think it's more likely they're going to do some sort of prequel. That seems to be the popular thing to do. I think that's where they'll go. Because again, it's easy. You get the best of both worlds then. It's in universe, but you haven't got the problems of stepping on canon too much. And
it leaves the door open for you to continue as well. It's just, all right, well, now we got our popularity back. Let's do what we were planning to do originally or something like that.
But I'd love to do something. Maybe it was a prequel that jumped forwards in time occasionally, and we saw the odd thing from the future, something like that maybe. But we'll see. But just something good,
please.
Yeah.
I don't know. Stormy, Sarah, would y'all have preferred a hard reboot because it's something at this point, or where are y'all at with it?
Sarah, you want to go first?
I'm thinking about it. I would prefer that they don't do a hard reboot. I don't think I'm quite at that point yet because I think they don't have to do that yet. If it goes on much longer, I think they might have to. But I'm open to whatever they're doing. At least I'll check it out. I'm not going to be one of those people that's like, oh, I'm not watching it because Brad Wright's not involved or whatever. I'm not going to be one of those people. I'll stay open-minded to whatever they do. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, that's what we got to do.
Yeah. Well, I mean, for me, cold reboot. I mean, like Jay said, it's something. But with like Stargate Atlantis, which I really, really, really did enjoy. It seems to me that there was, and I'm one of those mutants that actually did like, Stargate universe. See, I know.
No, I didn't. I'm just annoying Josh, and I quite like.
But I wouldn't mind another. I would rather have another spinoff, because God knows, I mean, there's a plethora of stories you could tell with a storytelling device like the Stargate. And so I think if we get a reboot, it's because we're creatively bereft of any new content. And that's my fear with Amazon is, the committee decisions, voting by committee, decision by committee. And I would rather I think that we get something better if it was a spinoff than redoing SG-1 or just redoing the original movie.
They need to go back to Mark Fergus and apologize, stick tongues up his bottom, whatever's necessary to make it. Because, and I'd be silly, but the reason I say that is he was actually passionate about doing it. The rumor is, and this come from Jenny Stiven as well, that he was asked by Amazon at the end of The Expanse, what do you want to do? And his first thing was, I would love to do Stargate. I'd love to bring that show back. I've heard rumors about him in like pitch meetings when I was trying to do development meetings, and somebody asked a stupid question about SGU and the Planet Builders, and he went on like a 20-minute just like rant about the Planet Builders and how they were underused villain and what he would have liked to have seen that go. And so this was, I mean, that was just off the top of things. So so he was obviously a fan.
Well, even whenever,
sorry, go on.
Well, even whenever it wasn't going to continue being them, they still had the Bible and were saying you use this Bible, right?
Yeah. But we want somebody that's like Brad Wright or somebody like that that's going to come in and isn't just like, doesn't see it as a as an interesting story, or doesn't see it as a as an opportunity, that does it because they really, really love the show and really, want to do something with it. And that's my concern. We're going to end up getting, I know Bad Robot pitched for it. They did that because they saw it as an opportunity. There's no way they were like, we desperately need this. They did that because they thought, we're struggling a bit at Warner Brothers. Let's put something together and let's see if we can, do something. I want somebody like Brad or like Mark Fergus to come in that's going to be like, I am desperate to get this right. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, and I don't think there's that many people out there that I'm not a big fan of Joe Malozzi, but
he'd at least care still though. Yeah.
Well, I mean, like one of the Thingy brothers, the guy who directed loads of episodes.
The DeLuises.
Yeah, DeLuise, somebody like that. That'd be awesome. Like somebody that knows the show would bend over backwards to appear in it. I want somebody that they'll go, well, we're not going to pay you anything in the first season, and they still just go, no problem. Somebody like when Star Trek Picard season 3 came through, the showrunner whose name has gone out my head,
Terry
Matalis. He emailed his agent to say, anything Star Trek, I will do it. And they emailed him back saying, well, we've had contact from Secret Hideout and they've got an idea for you. And he just emailed back, I'm in, straight away, boom, I'm in. They didn't even tell him what it was. I want somebody like that. Somebody that's just like, you're doing Stargate, I'm in. Just whatever you want, I'm in.
Yeah.
You want my first child as compensation? Good. I can't stand the little shit anyway. Here you go, have him.
Yeah.
And sort of it, that's right. I want someone that's desperate to do it and desperate to make a good job and that knows the franchise.
Right.
Because it is the sleeping giant of sci-fi. We don't joke when we say that.
No.
It is. Right. It should be up there with Star Trek and Star Wars. It really should.
Numerically, it's not too far off nowadays, which is kind of weird to say.
When it was out, when it was SG1 was thing, it was the third show. Well, I mean, you could say it was the second. Well, there was no Star Wars TV series, and Star Trek wasn't great at the time. Towards the end of the series, particularly. Right. So it was the biggest. It was the biggest sci-fi franchise going at the time.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, towards the end. Yeah,
it was, and It needs to come back, but it needs to come back with somebody that's really desperate. Right, guys, I'm going to have to run because I'm going to pick up in literally 90 seconds. So, Merry Christmas.
Joe Flanagan, better than Joe Malozzi. Would that be a good one?
I would take Joe Flanagan, at least because he's passionate about it. And he'd be fine as a showrunner in that he'd be a manager. I don't want him to be too creatively involved, but I think he's got enough sense not to be. I think he's got enough sense to bring people in that thing. But as a manager and somebody that loves the project, oh hell yeah,
yeah,
he would kill to do it. He would never be given the opportunity in a million years.
Sadly,
he's burned too many bridges.
That's true.
Well, I'm gonna go. Everybody, please, everyone watching, Merry Christmas. And you guys, I really hope you have a blast, and we will see you Boxing Day, maybe a couple of days after. We'll have to see what everyone's doing. But we will be back very, very soon. Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas, Jay. Love you bunches.
Merry Christmas, brother. And don't forget to tacky on Pulse 4.
Please, if you will. That's my Christmas.
Thing.
Just subscribe.
Maybe Leo shut up about it. Oh my God in heaven.
Bye.
And a happy Festivus. I'm actually going to pull Jay and leave y'all be for just a second.
Oh, okay.
I missed that.
But Chazz, how the hell are you?
I'm doing all right. I'm hanging in there. Harris got me over with his family for Christmas, so we've been. I think we're about to go take his niece after this to go see the new Sonic movie.
Right.
It's gonna be that's gonna be fun. I'm excited to go see that.
Now, being at Jay's house, is that part of your parole program? Is that allowed?
Feels like it. It feels like it. No, it's been a good time. His family lives not too far from where I live, and so whenever he comes into town, I'll pick him up from the airport and bring him over, and I'll hang out because my family's on the east coast of the U.S. So
yeah.
Where are you at in Stargate journey?
What?
Where are you in your Stargate journey?
You can come back up here and talk.
Where are you at on your Stargate journey?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I watched so far. I think I'm like on season 7 of SG1. I think I watched the first season of Atlantis so far. I think I watched a little bit more than that, to be honest. I kind of started just watching it and letting it keep go.
Right.
But I'm watching them deal with Anubis.
That was really
bad.
Yeah. I have to do a proper watch through again. I've just watched all the best worst episodes we've been doing. I've just watched those, but I need to do a proper watch through again.
There's a lot to go through it. I remember when I first was like starting to get into it, I was like, okay, yeah, there's this, and then it was like, oh, there's like what how many seasons of SG1 is there? Is there like 10? Okay, I was about to say there's like 10 of those, 5 of Atlantis, and then 2 of SGU.
Yes.
Which I still don't know where that
and then
goes
the
into
2 movies also.
So actually maybe you can answer this question because I know Harris is going to yell at me because I should know this by now. Where the movies are in the timeline, like, so I don't accidentally, like, when I get to the movies, don't miss.
Oh, Arc of Truth and Continuum, watch after you finish SG1.
After SG1. Oh,
yeah.
And he's gone again.
Also, there was one comic book that came out that was supposed to wrap up what happened to everybody at the end of season 2, Stargate Universe.
Oh, really? Okay.
And you can get that, I think, download that from Amazon.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Was it satisfying? Don't know, but it surely was. Poor Eli. Fucking poor Eli. Swear to God.
What are you doing? Oh, my gosh. Your crown's a little jacked.
There may have been a spill that I had to clean up.
Did you open a new bottle of Crown Royal? Is that where you got that hat?
A little lopsided crown.
It was the one before I found Christmas hats. I was like, it's red. It works. We'll switch back to Santa.
There you go.
Got all
very nice.
But okay, so the Stargate movies are at the very end. I don't think you probably have to worry about the timeline.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
that was the thing I was concerned about. I didn't want to watch, totally miss something by accident because I didn't see the movie.
That's that. Yeah, good point.
No.
Where in Stargate did you say you were?
Remember exactly? I'd have to double check exactly where I am. I know they're in the middle of dealing with Anubis.
Okay, but are you in Atlantis yet?
Yeah, I watched the first season of Atlantis.
Okay, I was gonna say,
yeah,
we might need a little watch party and something going on. Star Trek, Stargate. We'll do some new Star Wars or something eventually.
We do Farscape too, right?
Oh, in a big way. I think that's gonna be the first one I watch outside of Enterprise. I'm gonna go Enterprise and Farscape is.
Farscape, I love Farscape.
You might be down for some Farscape, right, Sarah?
Yeah, I was thinking we should, maybe we watch a couple episodes a week and talk about it.
That'd be fun. That'd actually be a really good way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Would y'all like to see that?
Oh, you're asking the audience. I'm sorry.
We all are. Yeah. What? Okay, walking back in here, Monk's saying I would love to see how the Ori storyline would have wrapped up if they had an 11th season. How long would Daniel have been a prior, for example?
Ooh,
Hey, that's a good point. Probably a lot longer.
Yeah.
probably a bit.
Yeah.
Maybe they could have actually had him like be a for real prior, because in the storyline he's just kind of faking it, right, to get intel or whatever. It'd be interesting if he, like, for real went there and they had to bring him back. But they kind of did that with Teal'c earlier, didn't they? Where Teal'c got brainwashed to be the Prime again or whatever, and they had to bring him back. Anyway,
that episode pissed me off. I was like, you can't do this to Teal'c. We're too far into the series for you to be doing this to Teal'c. Do not do this.
Indeed.
Indeed.
And 5, indeed.
Oh, we didn't play that song. We should have played that.
StreamYard did just update. Apparently, you can add an intro video whenever you press go live. So we might have to act instead of our little loop that we always have going on. We might have to start playing like a little intro video and have like a looped video on file. I guess I don't know what I'm going to say. That's the techno one. The techno battles between Stormy and those two, and Chazz and Jade.
Basically not hers.
And Sarah's got a Brit, so she keeps in there.
Yeah, he's my tech guy, so
I rely on Chazz and Matt.
Yeah.
It works. It's effective.
Yeah.
Okay, what else have we seen this week? What have you seen?
As far as Christmassy things, I just rewatched Home Alone 2, which I love the Home Alone movies. That is always like one of my like Christmas go-tos, like Home Alone 1, 2, 3 we don't talk about. I mean, 3's okay. It's okay. It's yeah.
3 is the one with like a girl. I've never seen it, but
no, 3 is it's not a girl. That's like 4. There's like 5 or 6.
Oh,
Home Alones.
They
kept going. Oh my god, it's so bad.
They recast the kid.
Yeah, 3 is the first time that there's a new kid, and like
it's not the worst.
It's not terrible. It's
Right.
okay. It's just it does hit the tone of Home Alone at least still, but it's it's weird. It's not Macaulay Culkin, not related in any way to any of that stuff. But I love the second one because I always think the second one's funny with like with Tim Curry being in there, Bob Schneider, freaking having Donald Trump, like, because that they had that little sliding section, or they had like the carpet and they ripped up the carpet in the movie so he could slide into the elevator. And I guess Trump liked that, so he kept it after the movie was done filming.
Cameo and carpet.
Yeah.
So don't have to pay me much. Cameo and carpets, though. Have you seen anything outside of like Christmas stuff this week before coming in town again?
I haven't really. I mean, you just got me watching the first episode of Skeleton Crew, which I did really like, and I am going to catch up and probably finish that very quickly. So I will not be very behind on that one. But that's the only other like new thing I'm trying to think of that I've really seen the last few days. I did watch my Nightmare Before Christmas as I was putting up Christmas decorations, but taking down all my fall stuff and putting up all the Christmas stuff. Thought it was appropriate.
It is. We watched it the other night as well. Playing card, we watched that. The holiday special, the Star Wars one. I'm trying to think if I've been to the movie theater this week. I feel like I have. But also, Christmas and just travel's got my brain in 40 different places at once. I've been watching a little bit of Fallen Skies as well, of course. A little Colin. That's been great. Craven Y2K. No, I haven't been to the movie theater in a week. That's insane. Nothing's that wrong. Catching up. Creature Commandos is good too. I'm really enjoying that. That last episode had me tearing up for an animated weasel on a superhero TV show. I did not expect that. That was not in my bingo card. But it's really good. If y'all watch Creature Commandos, I think everybody would like it. I think it's rated TV mature, but it feels more TV 14. It's adult, but still animated fun, yada yada. I think that's all I've been watching though. Been mostly, I guess, preparing to get here to Texas and just ready for Christmas.
Yeah.
You know?
It is that time.
It is that time. Christmas movies wise, though, I feel like I've watched a couple other things, but they were all in the background while playing cards and I wasn't truly paying attention. But Violent Night, I think we've clicked our heels enough times together. I think it needs to be watched tonight at this point.
It doesn't need to be watched.
I'm going to Kansas and I'm watching my Violent Night tonight. That's my Wicked reference there. Also, Monk was asking though, is someone cat sitting while I'm away? Yes.
It's another cat doing the cat sitting there. So I mean, there's that.
There are more cats here.
There's 3 more here.
The saddest thing possible. It was really funny at the same. It's not funny at all. It was just coincidentally funny timing. Terrible timing. Literally pulled in the driveway after I picked me up from the airport, driving in town, and we walk inside, and my mom walks outside and is like, "Well, your dog just died." It was so bad. It's not funny. It's an old dog. It was time.
Just as we drove up.
Oh, okay. Great timing. Merry Christmas. Hello. Your dog's dead. She was 19, but it's okay. She's an old snaggletooth. Runt, one eye.
That's a long time.
Yeah, she's literally the runt of the litter, I guess. And we've had her for forever, but she had every health issue possible she had. So we expected her to go 10 years ago. She lasted a lot longer than her healthy sister. So all good, nothing sad, but it was like, what the hell? You know, you walk in here. Like, oh, well, Merry Christmas, everybody. Yeah, that was surprising. Well, yeah. What are y'all going to check out Sonic or Nosferatu?
I'm not
Sonic,
playing
no.
house.
Not my thing.
But Nosferatu's
I might watch that like when it comes out on streaming or whatever. Yeah.
that makes sense. I'm going to try to sneak out and see it as early as I can on Christmas. It's going to be bad, but I'll try.
Yeah, good luck with that.
You know? Well, what are we thinking? We got fun things to end the year on, I guess. Fun things to start the year off with sci-fi wise. Hasn't been a successful 2024 for sci-fi.
Yes and no.
I would say Sarah wrapped it up right there in a sentence. Yes and no. There were some really big hits. I think there were some really good things that kept us crazy sci-fi fantasy people salivating, and then there was some suck ass shit.
Yeah. Yep.
Can we put that on a t-shirt?
Right. Put Jay's name under it though as a quote. He needs all the hate now he can get.
Maybe. Well, I mean,
Merch idea.
The what?
A merch idea.
The film wise, I feel like the beginning of 2024 started out pretty terribly. There were some bad snoozers kind of the beginning of the year. And then Dune 2 hit, and I thought there was some writing on the wall for us. But like you said, I've been trying to think of good sci-fi movies since then, and there have been a lot of good ones. Like Furiosa was good, but it didn't make a dent anywhere. Dune 2 was awesome, and it did make a dent, but it just was so early in the year. It almost feels like it was last year at this point.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of other big sci-fi movies. Creator was last year, not this year. What else was just a big thing this year that I guess tickled our fancy? Well, there was one thing that was quite excellent. Alien Romulus, I think, got us all pretty happy.
Oh yeah, that's really good. I gotta watch that again.
Oh yeah, I did watch that this week too. That was okay. There we go.
Yeah.
Wild cards. I'm just getting what's happening cards. But I can't think of anything outside of Alien Romulus or something like that. The Wild Robot was big as well, but once again, they just tossed it on streaming and video on demand 2 weeks after it went on theaters.
Yeah,
it just didn't make any sense to me in that manner. Right. The Substance, Monk. I still have not seen The Substance, but I want to.
I want to watch that too. It looks good, or sounds interesting anyway.
It sounds interesting. The cast is phenomenal, and I don't know if you're a Brandon Cronenberg or a David Cronenberg fan, just Cronenberg horror in general, but that's what it's supposed to be like, and I'm excited. Mike was saying he caught up on the newer Futurama. Y'all watched the new season? It is actually
it is actually pretty good. I actually did enjoy it.
Last year's season was me trying to say, all right, I'm happy Futurama's here, but it's not as good as I wanted it to be.
Yeah.
Come back. And it's now it's there. We're good. There's what was the Jamaican espresso?
The coffee episode.
The funniest things in the world. Hermes episodes are the best. They're so good. Arnold said Alien Rhombus is the teacher spinoff at his own planet. The industry is certainly going through changes that affect everything production-wise in a big way.
That's true.
We're this year, and some of that just crap fest, not necessarily crap fest, but the lack of a good ebb and flow, and just good one here and nothing good here, and 2 months in between for each one.
Here's an unpopular opinion on that topic is I think a lot of digital tools have become so easy to use and so cheap to use that now people are using them without the ability to use them well. They'll just, this new filter or this new production process has popped up in Premiere or whatever. Let's go buy that for like $1,100 and let's put it in and let's use this effect everywhere we possibly can. And it looks like a student film, from high school. And so I think a lot of this new technology, I hope we see filmmakers using it in more mature ways, not overdoing it and just using it well. I mean, Hitchcock, was a really good master in the technology of the time, and production company or manufacturers, camera company, lens company, always threw all sorts of shit at him, and he said, "No, I'm not going to do this. I want to tell a good film." I mean, he'll use the technology to get the job done, but he wouldn't just overdo it or wouldn't use it just because he could. And I think there's a lot of just because you can in films from 2024.
Yeah, actually, I feel like that's a really good way of saying it. And I'm hoping it's going to change in the coming years. Yeah. Fingers crossed.
Well, fellas, I gotta go eat me something or I'm going to die. So
yeah. I need to get going too, but
Merry Christmas to all of you. Thank you guys for supporting us all this year for whatever reason you're doing it. Bless your heart. We don't know why you're here.
Merry Christmas to y'all.
Thank you, Harris. And thank you, Sarah, for joining the crazy crew. We hope it really hasn't tarnished your reputation too badly.
I hope not.
Harris just doesn't care about his reputation, so I show up as much as I can.
Who?
It's always good seeing you again. I'll try to come up with some more quirky questions next time we have a quiz on.
We have to have a debate again. What are we going to debate?
Well, Jay and I were talking about that right beforehand. We were saying it might be a little late to do a debate for this month, but we would like to start doing it monthly. So if y'all have any ideas for us, y'all let us know in the comments, of course. But that's something for us to be thinking about too. Just what would be a fun little thing to debate? Maybe make it the last week of every month or something like that, or week before the last week, something like that.
Something like that. We'll think of something.
Yeah, we have a bunch of good things to start it off with. One thing that would be a great idea to debate that we should probably start things off with for the sake of getting things rolling. Hard reboot or continuation.
Oh yeah.
And we have to have someone actually argue the hard reboot and it's gonna suck, but we need all the good reasoning behind it because there is a lot, like we were talking about in the charity stream. There are things that just don't add up. As much as we hate it, they just don't add up, especially technology-wise.
Yeah.
Melvin was talking about the Zap gun at the end of the day, where the Zap gun kind of useless by the end because you have ammo that does the same thing.
Right.
It's loaded to the bottom of a pistol, like a normal mag clip now.
Well, if we wanted to have a series of quizzes that would just generate hate mail, we could always do Harry Potter from the view of who has the best house.
Oh.
I am
And
sure
we
we would end up on every shit list that's imaginable.
Yeah.
What are y'all's houses again?
Raven, because they have the best porn library, I think.
They are the.
See, now you know why the hate mail will flow. Just put all
My high school was called Ravenscroft.
Ravenscroft with Ravenclaw. Sarah, what were you again? Weren't you like a Gryffindor?
I have never like done any of those quizzes or anything, so I have to think about it. But,
We got to get you on the quiz now because I know I'm a Hufflepuff. I'm pretty sure you're a Hufflepuff or Slytherin, aren't you?
I've taken it twice and I've gotten both answers.
We'll
So.
see what we should take bets on what Jay will be.
Slytherin.
Slytherin.
It's
not
really
really-
how he answers the questions. It's going to be Slytherin or Gryffindor. I almost said Gandalf or Gryffindor, depending on what time of day it is.
Then there's Hufflepuff too, right?
Yeah, he could be Hufflepuff.
I'd love you some Hufflepuffs.
I'm a Hufflepuff. Surprise.
All right, guys. Anyway, Merry Christmas, everybody. I got to bounce. Love you guys.
Yes.
And I will see you guys in the new year.
Yes, see y'all in the new year.
Take care.
Merry
Merry
Christmas.
Christmas, everybody.
Is
Bye.
it all a good night? Is that how it goes?
Yep. Until all a good night.
Mhm.
They switched it up on us. Hold up. There we go. StreamYard just introduced a whole bunch of new like outlines and layouts and stuff. So slowly but surely, we learn it. But we will have it learned by the new year. Thank you for everything, Sarah. Merry Christmas. And like obviously we've welcomed you to the SciTrek family, but you're our present for this year. So thank you. Thank you for adding a little bit of levity to us and you know, take it. We joke a lot. We're silly bastards. Now we're not all silly bastards, which is nice. It's great. Thank you, and thank you to all of y'all. You know, our audience, our people. Y'all are our family, community, as we say, because we're a family. And we love y'all. We appreciate y'all. I'll get sappy and stuff later because I do it at the end of every stream. So we'll see you.
Alrighty.
But Merry Christmas, Happy Festivus, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Holidays, Kwanzaa, Boxing Day. I don't know. I ran out of holidays. New Year's. We'll see you before New Year's. Y'all have a good one. Make it a good one. Thank you all again for coming to support the charity stream this past week. We should hopefully this coming Friday have another Radical Wasteland for you. And outside of that, keep your eyes open because we'll be talking debates or maybe tossing ideas for debates out there and figuring out what we're going to do before this crazy year ends and the damn good year that's going to be 2025. You know?
Yep.
That's the spiel. Yeah, I think that's all I got. Adios, y'all.
Peace.
And have a sci-fi Christmas.